Everything from underage drinking to drunk driving to fights to loitering. Lacrosse police officers see it all on a typical Friday night downtown. Good evening, everyone. I'm Scott Hackworth. Lacrosse has a reputation for its energetic downtown nightlife, and our struggles with dangerous drinking are well documented. Weekend nights are especially challenging for Lacrosse police officers. News 19's Heather Armstrong and photographer Nick Bierke had the chance to tag along with Officer Jeremy Reinfleisch to see what he and other officers on the late shift are doing when most people are in bed.
It's 4 a.m., near the end of third shift for Lacrosse police. A near tragedy unfolds as a drunk young man is found just feet from the Mississippi River. Officer Jeremy Reinfleisch says what almost happened here happens all too often.
He was only 20 years old, was very intoxicated, in fact didn't even know how he had gotten into the park that night.
Problems like these are so common that the police have volunteers to monitor the park. The dazed young man blows a .245. A number police say is a recipe for danger.
Even though he did get the citation, we made sure that he was safe. We brought him back to the police department, and we called one of his family members who came down from Holman and picked him up.
Earlier in the night, officers line up for roll call. They never know what they're in for. From 11 to 7, most of the city sleeps, but not the officers of the third shift.
To be honest, there is no typical night here in Lacrosse. Some nights it seems like everybody wants to fight, and some nights there's no problems whatsoever. Ultimately, just, you go to every call that you're sent to and go from there.
From the moment we came out of the station, routine traffic stops. It could be anything from a headlight out to out-of-date stickers, but that can change in an instant.
And it does. And that's why being on third shift is distinctly different than any other assignment.
Most of the calls that we go to on third shift are alcohol related, whether it's a fight between college-age students, whether it's a problem downtown, whether it's a domestic incident. Generally speaking, somebody at least at almost every incident has been drinking.
Routine stops for traffic violations now turn to trips to jail. And as it gets closer to bar time, there's another element of danger for those working third shift.
You have a lot of fights that happen as a result of people drinking too much sometimes. People urinating in alleys, people littering.
And people wandering, drunk and completely out of it. Alcohol fuels the fire and once again makes ordinary calls more dangerous.
Be safe tonight, man. Third shift especially, we're really big on backup. Any traffic stop that I make, at least one other officer is going to swing by and just make sure that I'm doing okay.
Activity at 305 Crosse.
So how does this night measure up to other nights?
I would say tonight was a relatively safe night. We didn't have a lot of major problems downtown, but that unfortunately is the nature of my job, is you just never really know what's going to happen.
And the end of their day is typically the start of someone else's. But if you ask anyone on the third shift, they wouldn't have it any other way.
I love my job. I've been doing this about 6 years now. I love the third shift environment. I've got a great group of people that I work with on third shift. We're very concerned with each other's safety, and we want to make sure that we all go home at the end of the day.
Take one cop, mixed with equal parts alcohol and uncertainty about what might happen minute by minute, and you've got a typical day on the night shift. After a sleepless night with the Lacrosse PD, I'm Heather Armstrong.
9 young men have drowned in the Mississippi River in the Lacrosse area since 1997, and all of them were alcohol related. Since then, increased police attention to the area, along with the work of volunteer groups such as River Watch, have intercepted hundreds more who might otherwise have joined that list.